Hey guys, so welcome to Unity Intermediate. For those of you that are not attending, I'm sure you'll appreciate some of these things here. For those of you that are here, welcome all. Yeah, without further ado. So what I was showing here a little bit earlier is just an example of what you could do with some proper Unity lighting. Now, the trick here is that I'm not actually using Unity lighting for most of this. What I'm actually using is pre-baked lighting. So if you see right here, the wall actually has a baked texture here. Now I'm just going to be brief on this topic because it's not really completely Unity related, it's more 3D modeling related. But the idea is if you have your 3D modeling package, what happens is when you render something, so right now we moved the lights away. So you're mentioning earlier about ambient occlusion, right? So as you can see, there's not really ambient occlusion going on right now because we moved the lights away from the scene. So if I go into the world settings here and I turn on ambient occlusion, I could add. Let me just see that. You guys are gonna see what ambient occlusion looks like. So that's ambient occlusion, right? So you see how what it basically does is it just kind of makes the little edges there get a little darker towards the corners, and a little lighter in the middle of it.
Spots where light and just reach, like in the cracks of a brick or something.
Yeah, so see that really like kind of adds more depth to your scene. Now, ambient occlusion is a cheap way to do really nice lighting. It is not accurate lighting though, because what we have in this scene is we actually have sun coming from the window, but we don't actually have any light coming from there. It's just kind of emulating, you know, if something is close, you know, to each other, they'll kind of give it a little shadow there. So it's all based on distance. It's like a simple formula, and there is a way to achieve this inside Unity without using any pre-baked things. It's not. I wouldn't recommend using it as your number one way of getting good lighting. I'm gonna close this. You know, maybe this. But let's say, you know, we don't have any pre-baked lighting. Just gonna remove these. Doesn't look so cool anymore, right? looks kind of like shit, right? Because that's what happens when you don't really have baked lighting. Now, let's say we want to try just to use the Unity lighting engine. We make everything static. So that's important when you're doing stuff in Unity with the Unity lighting. You wanna all your objects that are gonna get baked maps are gonna need that. And we have we probably want like a directional light. Again, I'm just gonna try to keep the lighting part brief. Lighting is very important though in Unity. It's definitely I wouldn't call it a beginner thing. I wouldn't call it an expert thing. You can take lighting to an expert level, but it's definitely intermediate. If you're trying to take your projects to a next level type of thing, you need good lighting. So let's say we got this, and let's say we do our shadows. You know, it looks pretty ugly. But let's just say soft shadows, you know, something like that. And then we go in here, window, lighting. It's gonna open this, and I'm just gonna just build. So you're gonna get this going on down here. Now, some of you might get this going on all the time down here. And those of you watching the stream maybe can't see it because of my face here, so I'm just gonna lift it up a little bit. This down here is sometimes some people find it very annoying every time they do things that you think you might be baking or rendering things. That's because your lighting window, which you find it here, window lighting, set to auto. So you want to unset that auto and just only click build when you need to rebuild the lighting. So that might take a second. Huh? Yeah. Alright, so yeah, really cool trick for the recording in the pre-computed real-time GI. If you want to speed up your light map baking, just go in here, put it to 0.05 and 0.05, and then just turn it off. And then in here, you can do your build. But even if you keep this on, it will look a little better. So yeah, you can see what it looks like with the Unity lighting. It's like, I mean, it's definitely better than with no light, you know. And now if we put like some, you could mess with the ambient intensity and stuff, and there's a bunch of things you can do, but it just doesn't look nearly as good as what we had to begin with, you know. See, just guys, this is one of the Calivo units somewhere. I'm not sure where exactly, but it was just done from a floor plan, and they brought it up, and I was just showing them how, like, when you do pre-baked lighting and you pull it in as a texture map, it it could give some pretty nice effects. And yeah, for those of you that are curious about the reflection, real quick, just there's this really cool script. It's called CubeMap Generator on the Unity wiki. You just take that script and you put it as an editor script. So for those of you that don't know what an editor script is, it's a script that modifies the actual Unity editor, not the game. So what happens is then what it will allow me is in here in a window, I think, or game object. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, so for this specific one, its wizard is a game object. Actually, this might not have been the same script. Render, just Google render to cube map Unity, and man, if I could find that one, I think it was this one. You know what? Either way, even if it's not here, I'll upload this script that I have right here. So it's really nifty. So what you do is you just get like an empty game object, like I made like living room reflection right here. It's just an empty game object. You can make any game object, just an empty. Like that. You say where you want it. Let's say this one, you know, we don't want to do it in that room. Let's say we want to get a reflection from here. So I'll put it in here, right? And then you go to your assets and you right click around here somewhere, create and legacy, because this is a legacy feature now. Cube map, call it, you know, reflection cube or something like that. Give it like 512 resolution or something decent like that. You definitely want to set this first before you render, because if you render into a lower res, you can't higher res it then. So, I mean, if you really want to go deep, you know, you want to do a high one right away, but let's just do 512. And you make sure it's readable. And what that basically means is that it'll be able to pull this asset and edit it. So yeah, let's just then go game object. So that's this editor script, render to cube map. So this is not a regular Unity feature. This is an extension. So game object, render into cube map, and it's going to give you this window. So render from position, we put our game object, which is the position basically. And the cube map is just this cube map we just created, and we just click render. And boom. So now you can take that. So if you see the floor reflection here, it's actually coming from the lighting window, and the reflection source is custom, not Skybox. And in there you put this. So just notice one window, 2 windows. See? See the difference? There's a different cube map, and then we got this here. We got this like closet or whatever. But if you're here, it's not accurate. So you got 2 windows, but you actually have 1 window. So a cheap trick that I've seen developers use is like they'll have a manager that'll just track which room you're in, and it'll switch cube maps. And this works really well with mobile too. So it's a really cheap way to get like nice reflective surfaces. You know, I even have it kind of on this glass here, this little penis looking thing. But yeah, I mean, really cheap way to do some reflections. Okay, so that's enough for that. So yeah, the next thing that I guess I wanted to do is I'll just start a new project. And
Are you able to make that video instead of the picture outside?
cube map? Oh, you mean this out here?
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
How would you deal with that? You couldn't do that in real time then. You have to look that can be based off of plus and five.
Yes, you can. With a render to texture camera, you can. That's actually a good question. I can actually show you. Let me see right here.
What is that? Is that a skybox or is that?
No, it's just a picture.
Oh.
It's just a plane.
It looks like it when you.
It's just an illusion. I think this one is it. So this scene, what's actually really interesting about this one is I got this really cool thing going on here. I'll show you guys. You guys are gonna like this. This here on. So some of you watched this earlier, right? We actually got 360 video playing out there. It's just a sphere. I'll make this sphere a little bigger because it's kind of cutting into the outer room. Still cutting into the outer room. Now it's cutting behind me. Yeah, let me skylight. Yeah, I can hide you. Yeah. So. So it's a video. But let's say you wanted to somehow do the reflection of this on the floor, which is actually I don't know if I'd call that intermediate, but why the hell not? I know it can be done. So what you want to do is you create a camera, and this camera, let's say we just want to reflect this video sphere, so we give it a layer, call it video sphere, I guess. So dyslexic. Video sphere. And in the culling mask, which is basically says what it's rendering in that camera, so now it's rendering nothing. We just want to render the video sphere. Shit. I put the video sphere. Oh, whoops. I put the wall as a video sphere layer. Yeah. So select the sphere itself. Give it the video sphere layer. Now if we look at our camera, see it's only rendering that. And I guess the way that I would do this is no, that's not how it works. I think there's a script to do this. It's definitely the better way to do this, but let's just be lazy for now. This is not a real reflection though, guys. There's a script where you can change the projection and just make it like -1 in the Y. But this is not actually going to be a mirror. It makes sense, right? Because I rotated it, so his face is not going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. But let's say we have this, right? And then what I do here is I right click and I create render texture. See it? Yeah, render texture. They call it reflection. And then this camera, it's not a real camera, it's just right here you see target texture. You give it that render texture as the target. And now that camera is rendering into shit. You know what? Yeah. Whatever, you know, it happens. There's workarounds, but still a little lazy. Put that in here. And the culling mask. Should layer not exist? Damn, son. Alright, video sphere. Take this, make it the video sphere layer. Take the camera, get its culling mask. Just, I did the same thing again. Yeah, it's like history is repeating itself. Okay, I swear I clicked it. Okay, no, I did both of them. I think that's what I did. Okay, so it's rendering that, and it should be rendering into this reflection. Now let me show you what that looks like. So I'm gonna press play. Now check this out, right? So do you see that? See? So we have that's a texture now. So now let's say, now you're gonna need like a custom shader type of deal to get the projections to work properly on your floor. But I'm just gonna do this really ghetto just to prove a point. That's projection mapping is all off on this. Let's do, yeah, no clamp, but repeat. See, again, like I said, it's not. This is not the way to do a real-time reflection. If you want to look at like a good example of like a good reflection thing, look at the Unity built-in water. The Pro Water has some good scripts on how the reflection works, but this is how you would do it. See, so you're reflecting a video technically by using a camera that's only recording from there. Now, see this camera, if I take it and if I, let me just put the scene view here so we can watch this too. If I take this and see, if I turn this render camera, see, whatever the render camera is looking at, that's what's being rendered in the render texture. Does that make sense? So render textures are a really cool way to do some interesting things. Now you guys can figure out what ways you can use this, but there's a lot of cool ways you can.
Would you be able to use the -1 scaling to get the texture flip?
Yeah, you could do it like that too. That's actually smarter way than me rotating the camera upside down. Yeah, you can do it like that. But what I would recommend doing, because if you're gonna be, it might get messy, is there's a little script that just lets you, like, you can just write, it's literally one line, the camera set. Let me just open the script editor just to pull up that class. So you see something like camera set projection matrix, and then you just give it like an X and Y matrix, and you just say the Y is a negative matrix. So like something like camera. You guys can see this? Why can't I can't shift C? Get the fuck out of here. Can't use shift? Okay. Camera main dot projection matrix right there is a matrix 4x4 to be equal to new matrix 4x4 You can look that up on the script reference. What that actually looks like. I don't know if off the top of my head. But yeah, so glad I could answer that quickly. So I'm just gonna start a new project because I wanted to teach you guys about something really cool. It's called a singleton. And some of you guys might know what that is. Some of you might not. But it's super duper useful. And just gonna take a quick break, and then we'll do that.